as your king. This is really beautiful, but it's very hard, isn't it? Because a lot of us want a God, that's like this. Well, tell me what to do, God. Just tell me what to do and I'll do it, and then I can go on to something else. It's kind of like guys when they buy their girlfriends or their wives a birthday present. Very hard thing, isn't it? I mean, guys make the horrible, horrible mistake. What do you want? And the wife says, what do you mean? If I got to tell you what I want, it's not worth it, huh? Well, how am I supposed to know? And the wife says, well, you're supposed to know. That's just the way it is. You're supposed to find out. You're supposed to probe the depths of my soul to find out. That's too much work. I just want to go to Sears, get it, and get on with my day. Well, that's just, you could give your wife $1 million gift, but with that attitude, she's going to throw it back in your face. Why? Because it's something you have to do. And that's the way we treat God, isn't it? Come on, God, give me a list of things I got to do so I can do it. I can have my God part of my life, and then I can carry on with the rest of my life. And God says, I will only rule if you want me to rule. Some of you macho guys are saying, oh, he's getting pretty close to this touchy-feely stuff. Well, I don't know, maybe it's getting touchy-feely. I can't tell you for sure, but if it is just checklist, if it is just cut and dried, you do this for God, God does this, that's really a machine type of thing, isn't it? It's robotic. And the Bible doesn't talk much about machines or robots, but it talks all about people. And I don't think there's one person in this whole world, unless they got something wrong with them, that doesn't want personal relationships that are described by the ultimate king. He is a king by invitation. But don't mistake that to be a softy king, because he is not a softy king. He is not a little Pillsbury doughboy that we, put our finger in there and make him giggle a little bit, and then he does things for us. Jesus said a lot of tough things, and one of them is in your outline for today, and I'll read it for you. Jesus said, anyone who loves his father or mother is not worthy of me. Anyone who loves his son or daughter more than me is not worthy of me. And anyone who does not take his cross and follow me is not worthy of me. Whoever finds his life will lose it, and whoever loses his life for my sake will find it. Now, what is Jesus saying? You don't love your parents anymore when you become a follower of Christ? You don't love your kids? No. What is he saying? He is in the first place all the time. His rule is unconditional. And we human beings we're very, very manipulative. We want a God who will be the kind of God that we want on our terms. It's kind of like, well, God, I spent all my money, now give me more. God, I abused all these people and I broke up all my relationships, now heal them all, take care of them all. God, I didn't take care of my body, now take care of it for me. God, I messed up at work, now take care of my work situation. It's always the cleanup, the 9/11 God. I do what I want, and then God cleans up the mess and lets me go back to doing what I want. And that's not the kind of king Jesus is going to be. He says, I am number one. If you are going to invite me into your heart, and I'm going to be the one who is number one in your life, then I am number one in every area of your life all the time. Even our priorities. Even our priorities. That's where it gets sick, doesn't it? Because God's priorities are not always our priorities. Our priorities are the pain-pleasure principle. Pain you avoid at all costs, and pleasure you pursue at all costs. And I think the hardest thing in the world for us, I know it is for me, the hardest thing in the world for me to understand about God working in my life is that He does not value pain and pleasure all that highly. Now, that doesn't mean He doesn't care about it. It doesn't mean that He doesn't hurt when we're suffering. But it isn't a priority. It's not like if you suffer a little pain, it's the worst thing in the world. On the other hand, if you don't get some kind of physical pleasure or emotional pleasure that you're looking for, it's not the worst thing in the world. God's priority, and he makes that very clear. Jesus Christ said it. What did he say? What does it profit a man if he gains the whole world and loses his own soul? Jesus Christ, when you receive him as the king of your life, his priority is absolute and always to get you to heaven. So that you stand in the presence of God forever and ever. And in the process of bringing you to that point, his other priority is to bring as many people with you and through you as he can. That's his priority. Now, what does that mean practically? You know, sometimes you ever get down about some areas of your life? You ever get down about the professional, your professional life? You say, my goodness, I've worked so hard and I had these plans and I should be at this point in my life and God, it really should be better and it's not. You gotta remember that's not the most important thing to you. Same thing with your family. I dreamed of a happier family. I dreamed that things were going to be better than this. I dreamed that this and that, we were just going to get along better. And God says, well, it's not the most important thing. Think about our health. God, I'm sick. What good can come out of that? We get bitter, don't we? We get bitter at him. God, things are not going my way. And what we have to understand is that these are not the most important things to Jesus Christ. The most important thing is he is leading you to God. And he is bringing other people through you. Nothing happens by chance. A lot of bad things happen in our lives. The saving grace is this, that Jesus Christ is King of Kings and he can take it back and he can make it good. So as you think about Jesus Christ being the King of your life, he comes by invitation, his rule is total, and his priorities are eternal. They're a little different than ours, and that helps us to understand some of the real disappointments in our life and take those disappointments and change them into victories. We'll talk about that in a little bit. Let's talk, though, about what it means to have the authority to rule. People for 2,000 years have been challenged by these words. The Pharisees didn't like them. The Pharisees said, Jesus, these people are out of hand. You got to silence them. And Jesus, he says, the stones will cry out. All of nature will cry out. Now, I guess the question is, did Jesus believe he had the authority to claim the kingship of our lives? I guess so, yeah. But the question is, does he? Those are pretty strong statements. And I think every one of us, even though we're Christians, every once in a while, it kind of grinds us, doesn't it? We know, you ever have that happen to you? Where you know what God wants you to do and you don't want to do it? Once or twice, huh? It happens all the time, doesn't it? And we kind of get mad at God. What right do you have to tell me what I want to do? And a lot of people, they just write Jesus off. They say, I'm not even going to think about that. I'm not even going to give Jesus a whole lot of serious thought. But the question is, if Jesus is not God, well then who is he? Who is he? Is he a liar? Is he somebody who purposely deceived people and then accidentally went too far and got killed for it? Was he deceived himself? Was he kind of, did he have his screw loose and, just, one of these guys that goes around saying he's God? Is Jesus, is he a campfire story that got out of hand? People can explain away anything if they really want to, can't they? Some people still say that, we never went to the moon. The moon's made out of cheese. Well, I hope a friend with would say, there's some pretty good evidence that the moon is not made out of cheese. Maybe you ought to check it out. And that's what people need to do when they just dismiss the person of Jesus.